Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video we are going to check out Telcoin's price chart. And if you remember, in the previous update we were right around these areas, and I was saying, look, the fact that we are able to find off of the lowest low a clear cut 1 2 3 4 5 wave up is absolutely a bullish sign, do not get me wrong, but we should probably look for a move down. And if we are bullish and are looking optimistic, okay, our move down is going to be slow and choppy in form of a correction. And then assuming that we are able to find all the right structures, at that point, we can flip bullish and say, maybe this is actually the low of this whole correction structure, starting from this high about like 0.69 of a cent. So what happened? We did get a move down, and I think we can all agree this is a beautiful correction. Let's just measure it timing wise. Okay. This move down took us about 260 candlesticks. On the other hand, this move up only took 50 candlesticks. So to me, this means despite having way more than enough time, almost 5 times more, bears absolutely failed to pull the price all the way back down to these levels. And to me, again, this suggests bulls do still have full control over the price. And one very important characteristic of a correction is having overlapping of the waves between our pullbacks on the upside. And this is one pullback, this is another one, this is another one, these are other ones. And as you can see, we are just constantly having overlapping of the waves. So I think we can safely say this is 5 up, this is a correction down. The question is, what is happening starting from this low? Okay. Let's zoom in more and first hide everything. Where is the lowest low? It seems like that it's actually this one as opposed to this thing, and maybe it's best to go also on crypto.com's chart and see is that the case or not. No, in crypto.com this point is actually the lowest low. So what's that going to be? Well, we are going to check out 2 different possibilities because I honestly cannot tell you which scenario is happening. The first possibility suggests maybe we are having something like this. Let's actually zoom in more. Sorry about that one. Okay. You see, I can tell you with a good amount of confidence, maybe this is like an A, B, C, D, E to about this point in form of a triangle. And this is another impulse up. And if you want to say, this is a beautiful 5 wave, and I do think it is, and this is also another one. Well, okay, what do we have so far? I think a clear cut 1 2 3 4 5 wave on a higher degree. Now, question, what happens after an impulse up? You know it, a correction structure on the downside, and pay attention to this initial move right in here. This is quite a strong move. Now, let's go actually on 5-minute time frame, and yes, I think you are kind of able to find in this phase maybe like a 1 2 3 4 5. Nonetheless, the point that I'm trying to make is this. This is probably impulse down, followed by that. This is a slow and choppy move on the upside, and maybe in Telcoin we are going to see another move down. But this is the key. I don't really believe that in this move we're gonna go like a whole lot slower. Odds are sure we are going to take this low, but then somewhere around these areas our correction is going to come to an end. And if we are looking bullish and optimistic, we need to see a very strong bounce back in order to continue the uptrend. Why do we have to see a very strong bounce? Because in TEL, there is a chance that from this point, we are having a wave 1, correction for 2. And if this is happening, okay, the next move is going to be into a wave 3. And one very important characteristic of it is being a very strong and rather sharp move on the upside. And then we're going to have correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. And by the way, on a higher degree in Telcoin, if this is actually happening, okay, this is going to be 1 2. This 5 wave up is into wave 3, and then correction for 4, another move into wave 5. For now, I'm considering this possibility as our bullish case. Now, let's go on crypto.com's chart and also do an analysis there as well and wrap up today's update. So in crypto.com, instead of this point, this is actually the lowest low. And in that case, I think we should consider the possibility of having kind of a flat structure. You see, I still fully believe this is an impulse on the upside to about this point. But according to this chart, I think a correction started in Telcoin from this high, and it might be in form of like an A, B, C flat, and this can be a 1, 2, another move down into wave 3 correction before another move on the downside into wave 5. Now, question, what's the difference between this scenario and the other one that we checked out earlier? Well, in this case, our move down can be actually a bit deeper relative to the previous possibility, and in it, we may even take this low down here about half a cent. I think this is actually possible, but again, even if we get this, I am going to kind of remain optimistic in TL as long as I'm not proven otherwise and argue we are having kind of a series of 1-2s, and then this is going to be like into wave 3 correction before another move into wave 5. Now, here's a quick question. Can we argue starting from this point to about this high, we have like a leading diagonal in form of a wedge, because in here we are clearly having overlapping of the waves between our supposedly wave 4 and 2, and since wave 1 is the biggest wave and wave 2 is bigger than wave 4, okay, all the rules kind of do apply to this structure being a wedge. The answer is maybe yes, but that's not going to be my primary nor even my alternate case between the bullish ones. Why is that? It comes down to this last leg up into wave 5. You see, if you want to say this is an A, B, C zigzag into our wave 4, okay, question, how exactly are you able to argue this is a 5 wave up starting from this point and ending to about this high? I don't know about you, maybe you are a better analyst than me. From my point of view, it is kind of impossible to find a 5 wave, and sure, maybe there is a chance, but again, the shape of it is going to look so odd to a degree that is going to make me say, you know what, forget it, this isn't actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in form of a wedge, and the best scenario that we are able to identify, I think, is that 1, 2 possibility. Now, this is a very important point, pay attention. Every single scenario should have a very important invalidation point for it. And what is it going to be for our bullish one? It's going to be, you know it, taking this low down here about 0.51 cents. Why is that? Because let's say from here, or maybe like just a bit higher, we're going to get a very strong move down in Telcoin. Again, focus on the word strong, maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without a lot of overlapping of the waves. And in it, we take this low. At that point, how exactly are we able to find an impulse, a complete 5 wave starting from here to about this point? For me, it is going to be pretty much impossible, and even if it's doable, I'm gonna say that's not gonna be my primary case, and I'm going to probably at that point tell you either this is like a WXY or maybe a simple A, B, C zigzag. The point that I'm trying to make is this: in Telcoin, as long as we are not taking this low, I think we can kind of remain optimistic. And if the 1-2 scenario that we think is happening, maybe sure, for like 12 to 24 hours, we are going to have kind of a move down, and maybe even we're not going to get it. But after our correction is over, we should probably expect some sharp moves on the upside. So if we get something like this in TEL in the short term, you should probably count on the 1-2 scenario a bit more than before. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Telcoin's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.